welcome to this 15-minute seated yoga session for beginners. This gentle practice is designed to help you release tension, increase flexibility, and begin finding a greater sense of calm. It's also a simple way to start a daily practice. I have some props here, some blocks and a bolster. If you don't have these things, that's totally fine. You can even use household items like folded blankets, pillows, even extra yoga mats that you can use instead if you feel like you're going to need some extra props. If you're ready, find a comfortable seat and let's get started. So we'll start in a cross-legged position and we're just going to close our eyes, or you can cast your eyes down if that's more comfortable for you. And we're just going to start connecting to our breath. So just take a moment. You might need to take a couple of deep breaths. Feel free to sigh it out a little bit if you need to. Just letting go of the day, coming in and finding the present moment. We're going to do that by anchoring ourselves into our breath and doing some deep belly breathing. The easiest way to do deep belly breathing is to actually relax your chest so that the focus of your breath starts to be coming and drawing the breath down, almost like you're trying to draw the breath all the way down to the tips of your toes. So you want it to go deep down, not wide. So just focus for a moment on relaxing your chest. Relax through your rib cage and let your shoulders drop down. Feel tall through your neck, almost like someone has the top of your head on a string and is stretching it up. And then everything else from the neck down is just falling down towards the ground. Tailbone rooting down deep. And then let that chest relax. You don't want the chest to cave in like this. You just want it to relax down. Now, on your next inhale, start trying to draw the breath down deep. In the beginning, this might not be very much, but as you work on it, it'll get deeper. Just spend a minute here seeing if you can tap into that deep belly breath. When you find that your chest is relaxed, you'll begin using your diaphragm more, and you'll start feeling that your belly is filling with air, and then your belly button draws back just ever so slightly right at the end. So your stomach expands as you fill in and contracts as you exhale. And if it's helpful, you can put your hands over the top of your belly to really feel into that belly breathing. Excellent. See if you can keep that deep, soft breath as we move our way through the practice, the rest of the practice. Now, before we start moving, we're just going to check in again with our spine and make sure our spine is nice and long so it feels like you have a lot of space through each of the vertebrae of your spine. And you do that again by feeling that pulling up from your head while your tailbone is rooting into the ground. We want to keep this nice stretch to our back throughout the practice. So it's important in yoga to find those spaces of ease while you still hold your structure. Because you want to be making sure that you're supporting yourself, especially your spine, throughout the practice so you don't injure yourself, but at the same time finding ease into that pose so that you can find the stretch in it. So just connect to that stretch in the spine. And now we're just going to do some warm-ups. So we'll do some little head rolls, side to side, just moving slowly and gently. Checking into the range of movements that we have today. Each day is different, so you always want to check in and see how you're feeling on that day. Some days you're going to be feeling amazing, and some days maybe not so much, and that's okay. Some days you may have to back off. Now let's roll the shoulders a little bit. We're going to roll them back. And as you roll them back, see if you can actually feel your shoulder blades lift up off your back and drop down. So you're really stretching not just through your shoulders, but all the way through the upper back and your shoulder blades. And now roll it forward. And let's do a little seated cat-cow. So on the in-breath, fill up, bring your heart forward, and on the exhale, collapse it down. Inhale, draw it up and out, and exhale, collapse it down. Just warming up our spine, finding a little bit of movement. Checking in on how this feels, the range of movement that we have front to back through our spine. Now we're going to stretch out that back a little bit more, and we're going to do eagle arms. So I'm just going to turn to the side to show you what I'm doing here. I'm going to take my arms out, and then I'm going to cross them sort of at the elbows. And then I'm going to rotate them so the backs are together. And then you can bring the back of your arms together. If this is enough for you, you can just stay here. If you feel like you can do more, then you can take that arm that's on the bottom and then wrap that hand one more time. So now your forearms are pressed against each other here, but then your hands are also pressing in together. And you can just breathe into that. Breathe, feel the expansion through your upper back. You can always bring your arms down if this is a little bit too much, or bring them in closer to you if you want to lessen the stretch. And then we can unwind, and then we're going to go the other direction. So bring the other arm on top, again, cross at the elbows, forearms are against each other, and then if you want, you can take that bottom hand and wrap one more time so the palms are coming together. Breathing in, sending our breath into our shoulders, our upper back, creating space. Just breathing in, releasing any tension on our exhales, maintaining that nice soft breath. And then you can release, wiggle it out a little bit. And then we're going to just do a gentle pull on our wrists. And you should feel a little bit of a pull through here. And the other one. Then we're going to stretch through this part. So you can bring your tips of your fingers down to the floor in front of you, and then place them so that the pads of the fingers are on the floor. That might be totally enough for you today. If you feel like you want a little bit more, you can just start leaning into that, and you'll start to feel the stretch to the front. If you work in an office a lot, then you'll really notice this, especially if you work on the computer. So breathe into that, opening up through the wrists and the arms. And you can release that. I'm going to roll it out. You can clasp your hands together and just roll your wrists around. Shake it out. Then we're going to reach up, nice and tall, hands clasped over the head. Breathing it in. Don't let your shoulders scrunch up too much. See if you can keep them down. Keep the nice space that we created across the top of our upper back. Breathe in and breathe over to the side. Out. Breathe yourself back up. And then exhale yourself back over to the side. If you find that you're popping up a little bit too much when you go over, you can put one hand down on the floor to help support yourself and just stretch with the other hand. Reaching nice and long. And inhale yourself back up, and then you can switch and come back over. Lovely. Excellent. Now we're going to start working the legs. So we're just going to start by coming into a nice, big, wide circles. You can switch it, go the other way. And then you're going to come, whichever leg you have in front, you're going to come over top of that knee and just bring your heart towards that knee. You can keep your hand on the other knee just to make sure that it doesn't start popping up or lifting. And just gently bow over that knee and take it as far as you can today. And then just breathe into it. Feel that length. So we still want to keep that length that we felt when we were in mountain pose. So our head is still stretching, our tailbone still rooting deep into the earth. So we're maintaining that nice stretch through our spine. Breathe it back up. And then we're going to come and just do a fold forward over top of our legs. This is a little bit much for you. You can take a block and come down onto the block, or you can take the bolster if you like. You can stack a bolster in a block, and you can just come down over top. Wherever you are, just relaxing into that pose. So again, always leading from your heart as we come down, trying to maintain that stretch through your spine. And then coming back up. And we're going to take the leg that's crossed on the inside and just bring it out to the side. And you're going to turn to face your foot and just start to slowly walk yourself down. And then just grab whatever you can. If you're here or you're here, or you can reach all the way down, that's great. Again, heart moving towards your leg, head moving out, tailbone rooted, and breathe. Deep, soft breaths. If you find there's a place that feels really sticky or tight, just imagine sending your breath into that space, encouraging it to open and relax. And then if you're feeling good here, you can either stay or you can start to open yourself up and get a little bit more of a side body bend in addition to that hamstring stretch. And then bring it back up, bring it in. Switch the cross of your legs. So whatever leg was in front, make sure that that gets switched, and we're gonna do the other side. So bring it around, some nice big circles. Breathing with our circles. Switch, going the other direction. All right, now you're gonna turn to face the knee of the leg that's in front of you, making sure that other knee stays down. Heart moving forward over the knee, spine long, tailbone rooted, breathing deep. Breathing it back up again. Okay. And then coming heart forward over the knees, and then just gently down over top. And sometimes if things feel a little sticky, sometimes you might want to move out. And then as you breathe into the pose, you can always keep coming down into it. It's always better to start out a little bit and then allow yourself to relax deeper into the pose as your breath helps you to open and relax those muscles. And then bring yourself back up. That inside leg comes out. We're going to turn to face it. Heart coming out over the knee. Neck long, tailbone rooted. Breath nice and deep. Opening through that hip, that lower back. Stretching it out. If you want to take it to the next level, you can bring your arm down onto your leg, and then the top arm can come reaching up. And then if you're feeling really good, it can start to come over. If that knee here starts raising up, then back it off. Okay. Bringing ourselves back up. And now we're going to bring both legs out and just take a wide seated forward fold. Again, if you need to, grab your blocks so that you can prop yourself up. It helps you a lot to use the props in the beginning because you might not have the level of flexibility yet. And when you try to force yourself into the poses, it might feel really uncomfortable. It's hard to relax and breathe deep when you're feeling that uncomfortable. So the props can help you to be into the pose and get the feeling for being in the pose, but in a more gentle way. Let's bring it back up and bring the legs together, bring them out in front. Just gonna do a forward fold. Again, heart coming over the knees, and again, grabbing your legs wherever you can. Neck long, reaching, heart over the knees. Deep breath here. Bringing it back up. And now you're going to take your right knee and bring it over your left leg. And then reach forward like you're about to grab something in front of you and then wrap it around your knee. Now this might be enough, and if it is, you can stay right here. If you can do a little bit more, you can place your other hand behind you and then start turning from your lower back first. If that feels good, moving it into your upper back, head coming around last. around in this pose to maintain that length from our tailbone up to the top of our head. Maintaining good form while you twist so that you don't torque anything in your back that you shouldn't be. If you're ever unsure, then just back off of the twist. Okay, let's bring it around. Now keep your leg over top like this, and just bring the leg that's down on the floor and start to slide it up. You can bring your hands back behind you to give you some support. This is a seated pigeon pose, and you're gonna start to feel the stretch in through here. If it feels too intense, you always back it off by lowering that leg down or bringing it up nice and close. Up to you, you decide how much stretch you can do for today. Just breathing deeply, relaxing. The more you relax into the pose, the more that sends messages to your muscles that it's okay to start loosening and unwinding. Okay, let's bring it down. Now bring this leg that was on top and bring it out to the side. You can bring this other leg up. Put your hands behind you again. Scoot your butt a little bit forward so that your tailbone is now kind of curled in underneath you. And you should start feeling a stretch in through here, through your thigh, through your hip flexor. And you can always lower down more. If you want more stretch, you can even come down onto your elbows or right down onto your back if you wish. Stretching, breathing, releasing. And then bring it back up. We'll bring our legs out front, and then we'll just do that one more time, working on the other side. So heart over the legs, reaching nice, long, breathing deep, head reaching, tailbone sinking. Nice deep breaths. Coming back up. Now the other leg, your left leg, coming over, reaching forward, wrapping around. Other hand comes behind you, and start that twist all the way from the base of your spine, up through the middle, and then lastly, your head coming around. Twists are really good to bring oxygen and rich blood into your organs. Release. Keep that leg on top. Bottom leg slides up. Support yourself with your hands. Keeping nice and tall through the back. Again, you decide how close you want that leg to come in, sliding it closer or further away. Paying attention to the body. Let the body be your guide. This is the only body we get, so we need to love it up. So we want it to last us a while. Okay, let that leg slide down. Bring the one that's on top behind you. And then bring the other one in. So your foot's kind of touching against your thigh there. And scooch forward a little bit so your tailbone is nice and tucked. And then you can start to lean back until you feel that point where it's comfortable. So we're always aiming for about 70%. If you're going down and you're feeling like, ooh, that's really tight, then just back it off a titch. And that's where you want to be. You want to be just outside of your comfort zone, finding the stretch. We don't want to injure ourselves. bringing it back up. And we're just gonna bring our feet around so that our feet are together. This might be enough for you right here. You can always change how intense this stretch is by moving the legs out or in. The closer in you get, the more you're going to feel that stretch. So you can give your feet here a little massage as well, which is really nice. And then just start to flap your knees a little bit. This is gonna help to just loosen up the muscles here. And then we're gonna breathe in, and as we breathe out, take our heart over top of our feet. If this is too intense, you can just go back up to here for today. Okay. Now we can just come back in to a comfortable seated position, bringing the eyes down or closing them. Just connecting back into your body one last time. Seeing if anything shifted or moved during the practice. And just finding that sense of release and surrender. You can stay in a meditative position for longer if you like, but I will leave you with that for today. Namaste, and thank you for joining me.